There was once a lamb chosen, chosen not to remain in the safety of the meadow, but sent on a very special assignment, an assignment that not so many would understand at the time. The shepherd would often whisper to the lamb, "You will walk where wolves dwell," not to fight them, not to become like them, but to remind them of a nature they had long forgot. The lamb trembled and asked, "How can I stand among devourers when I have no fangs, not even claws?" The shepherd, in his wisdom, clothed the lamb with a covering, a cloak woven to resemble the wolves, so that eyes would glance but not pierce too deeply. Thus the lamb entered the den, disguised, yet undefiled. At first the wolves laughed and tested their new companion. They fought, they boasted, they gloried in the hunt. And though the lamb's heart recoiled at the blood, it neither condemned nor celebrated. It simply listened. When the wolves tore into one another with rivalry, the lamb offered silence instead of foil. When they mocked, it didn't mock back. When they cursed, it didn't curse. And though the lamb was quiet, its calm unsettled the wolves. At night, as the fires dimmed and the laughter grew hollow, the lamb began to speak. Not with sermons, but with stories. Stories of fields where streams flowed gently, where no creature lived in fear, where even the wildest of animals rested side by side in peace. The wolf scoffed at first. "Such places are illusions," they said. "This is the law of life. It's either you eat or be eaten." But one scarred wolf, wary of endless battles, kept listening in secret. Another, burdened by wounds too deep to heal, wondered why. Why is this wolf never, ever agitated, never sought revenge? This is the law of life. It's either you eat or be eaten. But one scarred wolf, wary of endless battles, kept listening in secret. Another, burdened by wounds too deep to heal, wondered why. Why is this wolf never, ever agitated, never seeks out for revenge? The lamb had planted seeds, and though unseen, they began to sprout. Wolves respect strength, but strength is not always in teeth. Strength is not always in claws. The lamb's strength was endurance. The lamb's weapon was patience. The lamb's shield was purity of heart. They expected the lamb to fight, to prove itself. But instead, it proved something greater. That it could remain untainted in a place where blood ruled. The wolves did not know how to answer to this kind of power. So time passed. When the wolf fell injured, the lamb tended the wound. When another grew thirsty, the lamb offered water. Such gestures were foreign almost laughable, and yet strangely disarming. Some wolves began to wonder, if this one can live without tearing another apart, have we been deceived about our only way of survival? And though not all were convinced, the cloak had done its job. The lamb was no longer seen as prey, but as something both puzzling and not far from magnetic. There came a day when the wolves pressed the lamb. They asked, "Why do you never hunger for the kill? Why do you not fight as we fight?" It was then that the lamb removed the cloak, revealing fleas white as snow beneath the wolf's skin. Gasp filled the den. Anger arose in some of the wolves. The moment of danger had come. Yet something held them back, for by then the lamb had already touched their hearts. The scarred wolf stepped forward. "This one has shown us another way. We will not devour what has already healed us." And so the disguise no longer mattered. What mattered was the witness the lamb had already lived. True transformation does not always come with the roar of conquest. Sometimes it enters quietly, cloaked in patience, bearing light into dens of darkness, not to condemn, not to destroy, but to awaken. And the lesson is this: whether in a den of wolves or halls of power, do not fear being a lamb, for the shepherd sends his own not to blend in, but to break cycles with gentleness. The kind of gentleness that conquers where violence never could.